Hey, Adam Campo here with USystems Collaborate to Innovate podcast. I'm here with Christoph. I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Hey, my name is Christoph. I'm working at Ultrascale Digital Infrastructure. I'm coming from Germany, so a long distance trip to here. My background is actually telecommunications, so I worked a couple of years in the messaging industry for companies like Universe, moved over to IoT, and just recently left my position at Northern Data Group, Tiger Cloud, where I was leading the technical team of building Europe's largest GPU cloud that is available. And now, since a couple of weeks, I'm actually working for UDI, Ultrascale, as I mentioned, and I'm there responsible for deployment services and operations within Europe right now mainly. We are worldwide, we're helping our customers with installations, anything around the data center space can be, before there is a white space, ready for me to actually do my work that I'm used to do, and as well going into full deployments for them, which includes installation of the GPU nodes. So we are mainly building infrastructure for AI.
That's great. That's great. Let's dive a little bit deeper on some of these things. Tell me a little bit about Ultrascale and digital infrastructure.
Yes, so we have two arms basically. One is a bit more product focused, which I'm not really much included right now yet because I'm more on the services side of things.
Right.
So for the product side, we are working on some very futuristic, I'd say, racks with immersive tanks for high efficiency cooling. With the deployment services side of things, we are supporting our clients, which can be large CSPs, smaller customers, could be gigantic customers that are building large sites with around 100,000 GPUs where we are supporting in project management. So our main focus is we try to help the customer build out whatever he wants to build. There are like partners, there are competitors, like the OEMs are somewhat our partners because they are supplying a lot of our infrastructure, but they are trying to offering these solutions as well, deploying infrastructure for our customers. We are trying to tackle this a bit different, where we start with the customer searching for co-location, sometimes helping them to build co-location for building their own data centers basically.
Right.
We are helping them with the white space, with the rack layout. We are building all the data for them so that they can include it directly in their DSIM. So stuff that I think the typical service provider wouldn't do. We are going to place the racks for them. We are adapting to whatever cooling method they would be using. We have preferred versions for everything. So we try to standardize from our side as much as we can because it's a proven setup that we have done hundreds of times meanwhile. So for example, for cooling, we stick with the guys of USystems with their rear door. It's proven that it works perfectly fine for us. It makes the life for us and the customer a lot easier when it comes to rack layouts. Because if we speak about infrastructure for AI, we have thousands of connections that are between these servers because it's all about the bandwidth, about the connectivity of these GPU servers. And if you are really free to choose how you are going to place your racks, it's a lot easier with a fiber management, because if you have hot and cold aisle containment, you have to follow these and have to have a lot more cable baskets. So we have very standardized, easy deployments that we are trying to build for them, and that in the shortest time possible. Because if there's anything in this industry right now, it's like getting the kit as soon as you can and then bringing it online without a hassle of many weeks that you have it online. It takes us typically around 2, maximum 3 weeks to stand up everything. If we are in control and in charge of procuring a lot of these items, having control of the deployment itself makes it a lot faster for the end customer, and obviously they don't need to really care that much than if they would do everything themselves. So we take over coordination with the OEMs, we take over coordination with our suppliers that we are using, coordination with USystems, for example, and having SKUs for many build-outs. For sure, if there's a customer that needs something different, we are going to do it, but we try to make it as easy as possible for them, and my colleague Don is calling it always the easy button that we want to be. So if there's anything that you need from us, you just call us and we make it happen for you, no matter how much work it will be for us.
That's great. That's great. Tell me a little bit too about some of the challenges that you're seeing in the market with AI emerging and those types of things with these builds.
I mean, that's the challenge that everyone currently is seeing is power. So there is last year there was the problem that getting GPU servers was the biggest issue, getting them in time. Everyone was after getting H100s, selling them to their customers. Co-location was an issue, power was an issue, but not as now. Meanwhile, we are at the point that companies can buy GPU servers, can buy, let's say, GB200 of NVIDIA, but they cannot place them anywhere because they don't have data centers with so much power. So that's a big, big challenge, that you would need sites with immense amounts of power available in, let's say, relatively dense spaces. Right. So the times of 5, 10, 15 kilowatt racks, they are over. So we deployed the H100s when I was still with Tiger Cloud, in like 50 kilowatt racks that we have, and now we are going to 140 with the GB200 racks that you have per single rack in power consumption. So that is a big problem. And then, I mean, at least there are some players that are trying to do it with renewable energy, which is great, because I mean all this power needs to come from somewhere. So we have a big focus on working with players that work on a sustainable product.
That's good. Does that fall into the special designs that you're working on with your customers, or what's outside of that with the special designs? Tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, the special designs is that we have a lot of background within my team, within our partner network, where we are used to build very large installations. I mean, these installations are insanely expensive and not everyone could afford them.
Sure.
So we try to optimize them wherever we can, build them in sizes that make sense for the end customer so that they utilize everything as good as possible in these. So when I say about these rack layouts, following certain SKUs that you will repeatedly create will speed up things immensely for the end customer, makes my life obviously a lot easier, right, because I can replicate this across many sites, and makes the go-to-market for the end customer a lot quicker. So we are procuring thousands of fibers. These fibers, I can procure them unlabeled, I can get them in various lengths, right, and ship them to site. It's a annoying job for each customer, calculating the fiber lengths that you need to connect all your servers. So we build a tooling which is calculating you based on a physical rack layout that you feed into this tool with a step file of the rack, a physical layout plan, and it calculates you all the connections that you will need. It calculates you the according fiber lengths, and then we work with our partners together that we get these fibers already pre-labeled to site, get them in boxes per rack basis, so our installers that we are working together with have a lot easier time actually plugging in these transceivers, fibers, routing it through the racks, because it's already sorted, organized on site. If you would go the classical approach, I'd say, and label on site, you would have 8,000 fibers, various lengths, you need to label them, and that takes massive amounts of time, which we can shortcut doing it directly in the factory while these fibers are being produced.
That's great. Tell me a little bit, you mentioned it earlier, but I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive on it. The rear door technology that Legrand's pioneering. Tell me a little bit more about that, what that is, how it works, and how important cooling is in what you're building. Yeah,
so the rear door heat exchanger that we are using from USystems and Legrand is basically a nice door that you will connect to your rack.
Nice door.
It's water cooled, and why we recommend using it is, first of all, your layout is free to choose. As long as you have water there, you can basically place them however you want. You don't need to take care, okay, this is my hot aisle, this is my cold aisle. You can just place them. So you have a lot more flexibility in the layout that you are able to do. You can cool actually quite efficiently with them, and going with the doors that we used for our previous deployments. 70, 80 kilowatts is not an issue. We're having to cool with them like 40 and 50 kilowatt, that's fine. But even bigger, if you would use the CL23 of them, you can cool quite a lot already air-cooled. Right. But the beauty in these is, in my opinion, if we now build designs based on these, it's easy to actually use it in the future, because you will always have some components which need to be air-cooled. Even if you then go to technologies like direct liquid to chip, right, you will still have some parts that need to be air-cooled. And for these, the rear doors are then perfectly fine. So you would have a mixture of DLC and rear door cooling, and that is actually very good. And I'm speaking a lot with the USystems team as well about things like using the CDU, going to the rear door, going to the server, having an entire closed loop there, which is something that we are definitely investigating.
Right. So aside from all of this stuff too, I want to get to know you a little bit better as well. rumor on the street or at SC24 is that you really like fishing, right?
Yes. So I really like fishing.
So you're German obviously, but you're doing most of your fishing right now. Where are you doing most of your fishing right now?
So in Germany, it's not the easiest place to fish.
Sure.
There is some sort of fishing that you can do. We often go to the Netherlands fishing
Right.
there from boats on these large lakes that they are having. But I'm going to experience some fly fishing course that I just recently got as a gift from my wife to my birthday.
I heard about that. Your birthday was last week. Happy birthday,
Thank
Christoph.
you very much. So that I can experience some different techniques and learning something new, which is same like moving to Ultrascale, learning a lot more about data centers.
Right.
Me coming from a infrastructure perspective, leading the cloud division from the technical team.
Right.
Now learning how will all these things work together from A to Z if I'm building the data center together with our partners, and then helping our client to move inside
Right.
there.
It sounds like the main takeaway here is that you guys are a one-stop shop for your clients' needs.
Yeah, so any client could come to us, we will guide him. We will tell him if we are not the right persons to speak about. If it's something that is not within our expertise, we are absolutely fine to say that. But any client that work together with us, we will do anything to make this client happy. We care for them. So if we say we are going to do this in 3 weeks, we want to be done in 2 weeks.
That's
So
great.
that is insane amount of caring that I can feel within Ultrascale for our end customers.
Right.
And I think so far that is why many of our customers are very happy to go once again with us, because we take care, we take it away from them, we want to be some value add for them. So it can be they come to us, help us finding a data center, and it can go up to, now you have found a data center, built the cluster with us, did all the installation with us, helped us with all the logistics, it's up and running right now. You could even help them with testing the GPU nodes, and then we are doing the 24/7 smart hands operations on site. That is the furthest that we
Right.
can actually go.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us, Christoph, on Collaborate to Innovate.
Anytime, thank
All
you.
right, have a good time at SC24.
Thanks.